on this week's episode of The Chris and Andre Show.
Collaboration, synergy, thinking outside the box, raising the bar, breaking down silos, shifting the paradigm, disrupting the market, business.
There is a bunch of real estate executives going to a restaurant. It's like, like 100 of them? No, 40.
No,
It's 40.
it was an Italian restaurant, right? This is a scene from an Italian restaurant?
Yeah.
This is a Billy Joel album?
Yeah. It's like 40 people. They go to this restaurant. They have two servers. They order
so they call ahead, right, to make sure that everything is going to be cool. Like they make the reservation. They had 40 some odd people, and
wow.
I guess they
wow,
had
40.
Yeah, a group of 40. So they had two waiters, two servers with the group, and they each chipped in $100, and they ended up with $4,400 in total tip at the end of the night for these two servers, right?
Nice.
And then the restaurant is like,
pocketed a bunch of that.
That's
tip.
really nice, but we want to pool these tips for the rest of the people here because that's just way too much. Something that they have literally never done before.
It's just because money's on the table. Yeah, I've been in there.
Yeah. So then when the manager, the owners of the restaurant find out, or no, when the patrons find out that the servers aren't going to get the money themselves, they're like, well, then never mind, we want it back. Give it to the lady outside in the parking lot, and then they fire her and claim that it has nothing to do with that, essentially.
Wait.
That they gave her the money, but that they don't talk about termination and why they terminated people. But I'm sure Arkansas is a right-to-work state, so there's absolutely nothing that she can do about it.
But she got another job. But it proves the point of why would I want to work for you? Like real talk. Why would I want to be like, I work at so and so restaurant and you do me dirty like this?
I mean, you could work at Papa John's for 13 years and then get fired because you don't have anybody to work the night shift.
You calling me out on that?
So you decide to close the restaurant. No, not you specifically, but apparently somebody, a restaurant manager, got fired because he, after working like a ridiculous number of hours
62 hours a week on minimum.
Yeah. Didn't have enough employees to...
62 is a very not specific number. 62 hours is like a random amount of hours to work in a week. But anyway, go ahead.
No, I used to work with that. More than that, shit.
Dude had somebody, multiple people call out for the shift, and so he closed the store early and was terminated because Papa John's policy says that he had to get approval from somebody else in order to do it, which he didn't do.
What do you guys think about that?
I think it's BS.
I think it's... sorry, you go first.
I don't know, because if you have your employees working for you and everything, and... Because I used to work in a pizzeria, and when we'd be short-staffed, it sucks. You can't do anything without sweating, customers, freaking yelling at you, waiting, a long time. And it's not his problem that all those people were calling off and everything. And, I don't know, store's approval, that's, BS. I don't know.
Yeah, because they're not going to give you approval.
Yeah, I think it's just all baloney. People say, corporate businesses especially, care about their employees, but they don't. Because if they did, they wouldn't have fired. I don't know. It's stupid.
All right, so I think this ties in perfectly to another article that I added in here, which is, I'm sure as most people have heard, the CDC recently revised their quarantine guidelines for COVID-19, and supposedly because the Omicron variant is less severe. The real reason is because America's shitty economy can't handle the number of people that would be required to be out for 10 days. So, let's just cut it in half. Stay home for 5 days. But even now, there are, all over Reddit, there are reports of employers that are like, nope, my boss, I've got COVID, I'm on day 6, I'm still testing positive, I've got symptoms, and they're telling me that I need to come in and just not tell anybody.
I worked at a company where, it was a restaurant, based company, where you kind of felt bad for not going to work. And
it's called abuse.
No, but like, why is that, right? Why did you feel bad about not going to work? Was it you felt bad for the company, or did you feel bad for the other people around you?
I mean, it's because people made you feel bad. It's like a guilt trip, right? And it's like, it's in constant.
It's the culture.
Yeah, it's the culture of the company, right?
Culture of abuse.
Companies don't really give two shakes if you show up or not. You're replaceable.
Yeah.
Like, that's at the end of the day.
They will go find somebody else to replace you tomorrow if you fell off a cliff. Like,
But wait, it goes back the same way, because, like, when I used to work at Old Navy and they would be so rude to me, like this one manager, I'd be like, you know what? You can find another teenager. I can find another job. Like, this doesn't have to happen. And then I quit.
But the reality was you didn't have to work. That's like, you got to look at it outside the lens of living in middle America, right? So most people...
I know, but I'm talking from like a teenager.
I think,
perspective.
I think what Andre's
job
trying to say
anyway.
is you didn't have anything to lose in that argument. You had the time to find something else quickly.
But I think we take the argument of which is not a good. It's not a good thing. Most of the jobs that people take today are the jobs for teenagers, college students, like, stay-at-home parents that just want to work part-time. The unfortunate part is, like, a lot of people are taking those jobs as full-time jobs, right? So there's no balance there. You're fortunate where you didn't have to work. You worked because I'm like, well, I don't want to give you $20 this week. It wasn't like you had to work, right? That's the reality of, like, your life. But there's people, if you look around the places you work at, where that's their day-to-day.
To hear the rest, tune into this week's episode of The Chris and Andre Show.